Hey, thank you, everyone. So, yeah, I'm the CTO of Baseline. I've been working for my own startups in Toronto for 17 years. And, so I'm going to tell you a bit about my journey, some of the lessons along the way. I'm computer science from U of T, and we'll talk about some of those companies. So my journey started in legacy media. So I worked for a company that had TV stations and radio, and it was just being disrupted by digital. And we sort of had to solve the problem of what do you do with that second screen? Are people going to be on their phones? What are we going to do? And so, the benefit for me was I was around a lot of really creative people. And that really helped me, have that energy to go home at night and tinker around and play with all the cool stuff that was coming out on Web 2.0. And really what that led me to was a platform that I founded called Scribble Live that it brought live blogging to media companies. So long time ago, before the social networks, it was actually crazy that you could have commentary going along with a TV show or something like a new evolving news story. And so what we did, which was really cool, is from the beginning we thought about it as a very global company. We're based in Toronto, small team in Toronto, kept things lean, but we really thought we were going to be that company that's going to go after big media companies all around the world. And so, we grew to 150 people, offices all over the place, but we always kept that core team in Toronto. And, to speak to Jason's point, there's such a great ecosystem here that, you really can do that, I think, more than a lot of Torontonians and people in Canada think. After that, in 2015, I founded SAM, which was a chatbot company. And really our goal was to have a chatbot that you could talk to about anything. It got to know you. It would make your life better and make you happier. AI hadn't had a breakout product yet. And I remember, I was at this summit down in San Francisco, and, Facebook was there and Twitter and all these other startups, and they really no one could figure out what the breakout product was in the chatbot space. They could sort of figure out, hey, this is a channel, we should do something with this. But people were kind of pivoting into chatbot platforms because they couldn't figure out what it was. And so, that was really a lesson learned that, you can almost peek around the corner to see the future, but you just can't ever see it. And obviously, chatbots were never heard of again, and they don't exist now. But with SAM, what happened is we pivoted into the teen space. We had a lot of tech to keep teens safe, talking to each other, to nudge them in the right direction in healthier conversations. But we couldn't get funding, and ultimately we ended up selling it to Hugging Face that used that in their IP. So then we sort of sat down and said, what do I want to do? I want to build category-defining products. I don't like working in generic platforms. I think there's a role for labs in the ecosystem, obviously, but for me, I really like owning a product. So, I went into fintech first with a company called ACES that did business intelligence for payment companies, and then now with Baseline. And what we do at Baseline is we're a platform for private money lenders. So, mostly U.S. customers, in fact, 100% U.S. customers right now. And, we've got a team of 13 people that, the users of our platform are managing over $1 billion of loans right now. So, once again, it's how did we get this? How do you do that with a small team? For us, it's about being obsessed with that customer journey. We think about that customer journey more than, we think about the underlying technology. We let the customers lead. So, from the very beginning, when we just have a few features, it's about listening to the customers. What can we help you with? Where's the value? But then it's really important to take that input, but not let them design your product for you. You need to own your product. You have to be the one to take their expectations and make that into something. The other tip I'd have is that, it's good to have a few different customers or soon-to-be customers, because sometimes when you have one customer, even if they're really, really big, and this happens in Toronto all the time with banks and things like that, is that you sort of become an outsourced dev shop that doesn't get paid enough money, and you become very myopic about what they want. So it's good to have a few people giving you insights from the beginning. And then the other one is that, applying technology is really in service of the product. That, I love playing with cool stuff. We're building agentic AI and all sorts of cool stuff I'd love to tell you guys about later. But, that technology always needs to be servicing the product. Where's the value? How are people using it? What do they want to do with it? And so that's always been a really important piece for us. So last things I'll leave you with is, a challenge for people here to think big, think global. Like, we're in a fantastic city for starting a company. We're in a fantastic country with access to fantastic people. We can do this here. You don't have to leave. You can have a career in tech right here and build really cool stuff that will change the world. And, in terms of, a quote from Mark Twain that I love is, technology never repeats, but it sort of it rhymes with itself. And I find, like, in technology, that happens again and again. And, there's some of those insights that we can look for as we sort of navigate this new AI rush. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you. I guess we have a bit of time to take some questions.
Just before we get the first question, I got to thank you. Keebler was a last-minute swap in this morning, so he prepared his presentation today, so awesome work.
I was coming anyhow.
Any questions?
Oh, I'm getting off easy here. Great.
Well, so I'm going to give you a tough one.
Go for it.
What do you think about ChatGPT in its future?
The future of ChatGPT? I think the fact that they're working with Johnny Ives is a symbol that they're looking for that, breakout killer app still. I think it's an amazing technology. Like, we use it all the time, but I think there's something else there. We're moving towards a new form. The phones have been around for a long time, and obviously that's like peak tech right now that people wear, but I think we're all looking for what that next thing is. And like I said, I think it's impossible to see that, but there's a lot of people in this room probably that are just peeking around the corner and they think that they have the answer, and I'm just so excited to see what everyone does.
Okay. Any questions yet?
Yes, I've got one question here.
Yeah. You mentioned balancing kind of the new technology around the corner, like peripherally with serving your customers, and you said you might touch on that later. So I wanted you to kind of touch on how are you dealing with all this torrential new technology that's coming in, and how you're implementing into your core technology stack and serving your customers.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think so I'm coming at it from the technical side. I'm the CTO. My job is to really understand it, and I think that's where you start. What's possible? I'm not a scientist, I'm a technologist, and I want to know how to apply it and what the capabilities are. And I feel like really it's a matter of sort of combining that with what we're trying to do in our product and saying, instead of having a solution and searching for a problem, it's really having a problem and trying to find that solution with technology. I think, to Alex's point about ChatGPT, there's things that are possible today that have never been possible before, and that's so exciting, and I think it's driving a lot of the investing and everything else in our community. But it still comes back to, you have this great set of tools that you can use to solve a problem. You don't need to use all of them every time, and really it comes down to building that product that people need and want, and it makes sense to them.
There was a question here.
One more here.
Hi, thanks for sharing your story. How did your life and your journey change from your first startup to your second? I'm thinking about doing a second.
Well, it's fun. You should. It's just, I think it gives you a lot of confidence going into the second one that you can do this. Like the first one, you're going, can I make a living at this? Like, what am I going to do if I don't get money within X amount of months? What is this going to be like for my personal life? And I think, going into this, if you're thinking about a second one, it means you probably have answers to some of those questions, not all of them. And, it just gives you that ability to take that jump again. There's always other companies to work for as well. There's other startups, there's other big companies, but taking that jump every time gets a little bit easier. And I think it gives you a mindset that you're always kind of thinking about what that next thing could be. I find sometimes I'm so focused at baseline that it's only baseline, but sometimes it's great to sort of take a moment to sort of think about other things that I could do, and that I think that as an exercise keeps you sort of fresh and gives you fun new ways to apply technology, as we mentioned before.
Thank you. Can I get a round of applause?
Thank you.